Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude. Hello, this is Pete out of New York City.
Hello, and this is Zach from the surfboard-shaped state. And I'm the star of the next High School Musical play coming up here.
And I'm George Howell, the producer from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
George Howell, every asshole ex-boyfriend you've ever had. Thank you. Thank you both for being here. This is Surf Dudes with Attitude. This is a podcast where we talk about California Dreams, the forgotten but beloved 90s sitcom.
And speaking of ex-boyfriends in this episode, I am great in this episode.
You're pretty good. I mean, I say that now, but I'm looking at the screen, and if you guys aren't on Patreon, again, you're fucking up. I'm looking at the screen and I see Zach, full garb.
Hello.
It's not even cosplay that you're doing. You're like a tribute band that dresses up as the band that's performing, and you are fully dressed as Jenny's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, the first time we see him, to be specific. He wears a lot of okay outfits in this episode. Some really wonderful shorts at some point that I do
say so yourself. There's a lot of asshole dude shorts in this show, I've noticed. Like whenever somebody's a dick, like Ted in that one episode, like the formerly fat Theodore.
Right.
He was wearing the Docker's dad shorts and stuff. And, you know, the dad in the show, the titular dad, he's
all the time.
always wearing them.
Oh, yeah. Kneecaps out, baby.
Everybody's tucking their shirts in. Do you guys tuck your shirt in, like, on the regs?
I have never enjoyed tucking my shirt in.
But you do, don't you? I've seen you in person when we're just hanging out.
No, never when we were just hanging out. For the record, ever. If I have to do it for like a work thing or a dress thing, I will. But I never tuck my shirt in. I do not get that at all.
I mean, outside of the military, is it ever the society ever push for it? Are there jobs that you have to?
Yeah, business clothes.
Yeah, business time. It depends for me on the where the pants land. If it's high waisted, which I wear a lot of high waisted pants and trousers, slacks, if you will, I tuck them in pretty frequently. Yeah, actually, pretty regularly. I tuck in my pants, or I might do like a part tuck. You know, like a show my belt buckle thing, and then the rest is sort of loose. Some might call it a French tuck.
French?
The French? They never call it that.
Oh, they don't?
No, just the Canadian kind.
My general rule is tie or sometimes blazer tuck. Otherwise, no tuck.
You tuck in your blazer.
No,
just the
dress shirt. The dress shirt, but
that's the reverse Don Johnson. That's the reverse Don Johnson right there.
No, I don't tuck in the blazer, but I will do the Al Pacino roll the sleeves of the blazer up.
Yes, indeed.
Oh yeah,
or the Eric,
literally what Zach
or the
is
Eric
doing.
Cardinal.
I make a joke. This guy's doing it.
I did. I lost my shit when he popped up on screen. George was saying something really serious, and I just started giggling like a madman. But I don't regret it. And you guys should be on Patreon if you're not, because Zach is bringing it to the table.
I am looking forward to, as this show goes on, seeing many different costumes.
He's gonna really have to. He's really gonna have to dig deep sometimes. I think.
Yeah.
He's
well,
gonna run out of ideas.
Yeah, I'm not going to run out of ideas. Don't you worry.
So
don't worry.
But what happens when, like, are you going to ever just be shirtless like Sly, like for the entire episode, and just wear board shorts or something?
I think it depends on how many Patreon subscribers we have. You know, it's got to be worth it.
Yeah.
So
and not that anyone is not worth it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying but I'm saying
no. You were right the first time.
Yeah.
Zach just said here for 250 Patreon subscribers, he will go shirtless.
I will go shirtless during a whole.
Zach's
whole
realistic
stream.
about. You can get the boyfriend experience from Zach if you sign up to the Patreon right now. All of that information can be found at Surf Dudes with Attitude. Is there anywhere else, George, people can find us?
Well, surfdudeswithattitude.com is the website. We do have you're more into the social media than I am. We have the YouTube, which is available.
Influencer. Yeah.
So we do have a YouTube channel. We just launched a store. You can buy a Surf Dudes with the Attitude T-shirt. So that's pretty nifty. That's on denim. That's a nice collector's item right there.
That is somebody that would wear denim would call it is nifty.
Yeah, it is nifty. It's
You don't like denim? I like denim.
I mean,
and it's nifty.
I mean,
I don't tuck my shirt in, so I don't want to show off my denim. I just like to wear them. It's utilitarian.
The thing about the denim shirt is they have to break it in for you, so it's not stiff. So it's like a one of a kind thing. You know, each one is like individual and unique.
So you can get grass stains on the top half of your body as well as the bottom. That's what
That's
you're telling me. Does it come like distressed, like pre-hole cutted?
It does not,
word.
but it does
No.
have like fade. So I mean, it's not like jeans. It's just like.
Yeah,
Denim
not
t-shirt.
distressed. It's pre-distressed, but like post-experienced.
Yes.
Whatever that sweet
This is-
spot is. That's the shirt. for you.
Pre-war as well. Just
Yeah,
so
we
know.
wore them for years. This is 10 years in the making, this podcast. And Pete's been
Pre-war.
wearing
I knew
these.
it's a great pun that I accidentally came up with.
It's all rugged and seasoned like the two musicians in here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Zach, we are musicians. We're not just sharp-dressed gentlemen. I'm in a band called You Bred Raptors.
That's true.
It's got 8-string bass, cello, and drums. My cellist was just here today. We're writing some new material. Came up with like a super silly and fun cover to do.
Can you say what it is?
I don't know if I want to. Like I
It's
want to.
fun to
Like I
surprise
really
them.
want to talk about it. It's 2 disco songs smashed together.
Oh.
I'm legit really excited, and I could probably just hint at it. One of the bands is Swedish and one of the bands is Australian, so it's
Oh, this
we'll
is
do
great.
the- we'll
yeah,
do the
yeah, you
official
narrowed it down,
announcement.
and I'm very excited.
We'll do the official announcement on the Patreon right after the show.
Oh yeah, all right, there you go.
Oh.
Zach will get shirtless. Zach, what's going on
Not
with your
yet.
music? You are a professional. You're not just sitting here looking pretty, right?
No, I'm more than just a pretty old face. I'm a pretty old voice too. I sing and play guitar in a band called Fable Cry. Where it's theatrical rock. It's kind of spooky, kind of whimsical, pretty gay, and we like to have a good time. Play some shows, so we make some
A gay
music,
old
we
time,
record.
if you will.
It's a gay old time. It's a romp through the forest.
Romping circumstance, baby.
That's you got it. You got it.
I just named your albums.
This is how they all come about. I'm sorry. What was that last part?
That's
Rock
romp and with an apostrophe, not and.
Circumcision.
George, do you think we're getting emails being like, who do these people think they are talking about my favorite show, California Dreams, and do they even know how to play instruments? And the answer is sometimes we do,
Yeah.
and that makes us particularly qualified to talk about this show, even
I
if
have
it has
been holding
nothing to do
all
with music.
I have been holding all the emails so far.
Thank you. We're very
the emails-
sensitive.
The email, you can email us at surfdudeswithattitude. Is it surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com?
Yes, that's it.
So I've been holding all the emails, and when we get enough emails, we will put them together for one show where we answer all of them on an episode.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's
I love that.
people.
How many
People
how many,
are clamoring.
how many emails would we need to fill an episode? That doesn't mean we're going to get
one.
to all
I
of them.
will. One. I will.
Okay.
I will do pitter and patter and do crowd work with this
Yes.
one email that will probably be spam for dick pills. Okay, so
Yeah.
please.
So
No, we got a few, so let's do it.
gmail.com. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we are going to be talking about episode 12 today, entitled "This Time." It came out November 28th, 1992. I think that was a nice little intro, but I definitely feel that some people are like, "Shut up! I want you to talk about the show." I watched this show on YouTube for free with ads.
Yeah.
Please talk about it. And I was a little worried about this episode that it wasn't going to have enough to do with music, but fuck, I am surprised There was a lot of fun band stuff in this episode and relatable stuff
Yeah.
at that.
Sure was. And I also might have, I might be delirious and a little sleep deprived, but
Okay.
I
All
do
right.
think this had the most LPEs that we've experienced. That's laughs per episode.
The Luke Perry
from-
experience. Yes.
Or that, yeah. I laughed multiple times, and I made notes of every time it happened. I think some of them you will agree with, and I think some of them you'll be like, classic Zach.
What's an LPE?
Laugh per episode.
Don't say that like everybody should have known that. I don't. Is this a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Are you is your surname Nielsen? Are you a part of the television brand, the 18 to 35 demographic that decides what's funny and what doesn't stay on TV?
I cannot say. Have you ever heard of an NDA, my friend? That's another
The big
acronym
sports
that
guy
you might not know about.
So yeah. Did you say NDA?
Yeah.
Like a non-disclosure agreement?
I don't know. I can't even say that much.
You were making a funny. I was like, what's that one?
Well, all this to say, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this episode.
Are
Actually.
you saying you genuinely laughed or you like unintentionally laughed?
What is the
Your
difference?
dry delivery and demeanor it showcases to me that maybe it's both. Maybe
I think
genuinely laughed at some lines here.
I genuinely laughed at some lines, and there were some lines that I laughed, and I surprised myself that I laughed.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a betting man. I play the ponies every now and then, but I bet that some of those lines are sly delivered. Okay.
I gotta say, a lot of them are. I gotta say, Sly's hilarious.
I think he's
Sly's not a
turning
dirtball,
you on
like at all in this episode, actually, which is a first.
Yeah. We got to get Sly on the show. I really think we could. I think he would be down to talk about it. I think you and him could just be shirtless the entire time and we just like wouldn't reference it. Every 6 minutes.
Like it's very regular that neither of us are wearing shirts. Yeah, why do you think I've been going to the gym?
I mean, yeah. Well,
this is why.
Somebody's gotta look
Not
pretty.
to be shirtless in general, but to impress Sly specifically.
Yeah, Michael Cade.
Yeah.
If you're listening, come on, get in touch with us. Our people, your people. Let's do it. What is George here for other than to field emails from Michael Cade asking to be on the show?
Exactly. Come on. And yes, you may.
So,
Whatever the question may be.
So we are, we're going to start the show, don't you think? We're going to start at Sharky's. Okay.
If I okay. Well, thanks for giving me time. I would have guessed that even if I didn't know and hadn't just watched this episode.
Mm-hmm. So Sharky's has an apostrophe on there. I have been writing it wrong about half the time. I know it's a possessive form, but
yes,
in case there's any debate out there, it's Sharky owns the place. It is Sharky's with an apostrophe. Okay,
that is compelling.
No more tomfoolery and shenanigans with you rapscallions and ruffians. Spell it correctly, okay?
Sharky owns this place. This is a joint that is his own.
So we see the gang sitting at their favorite table, and Jenny is, I don't know, they're talking, and then I guess this.
Tony's
Goober
working today. I gotta just mention, and also brings them a pie. And they're already having shakes. Today is a good fucking day for the California Dreams. They are like sweet toothing out.
We don't know what day it is, but it's apparently their cheat day. So they're eating a lot of sweets. Maybe for breakfast. We're not really sure.
These kids are kooky. I bet it's breakfast. I bet it's brunch.
We still don't know what Tony's weekly schedule is. But we do have some. There are a couple instances in this episode. I was really excited as I was watching Zach and George. Like, we got some timeline factors throughout this episode, and I wanted to talk about them. The first one comes in this first scene. Actually, so a guy walks in and Jenny and Tiffany are talking, and this is Jenny's ex-boyfriend that walks in, and
Very sharply dressed.
She has said, "Oh, we broke up 6 months ago." So I'm like, 6 months? When? When was this? So this had, okay, because you are in charge. You brought this up last weekend about putting these in linear order that makes sense. This would have to be.
Don't put this task on me, but it is
You
true
put it on
indeed that I
yourself,
have a
mister.
theory that
No.
that these episodes did not happen in order, and that somewhere things are mixed around. So yes,
Okay,
we might
so
be
in the
putting
six,
some
the
pieces
6
of
month
the puzzle
interim, Jenny goes out with Ted, right? Ted is the formerly fat person that we talked about earlier, but
yes,
so
and quite possibly Sly as well. Sly would make sense as a rebound boyfriend.
Yeah, fuck, you're right. So that all makes sense, but we've never heard her talk about a guy. She's always been like single, and she even said in that one episode, she's like, "Oh, everybody's got somebody but me." And then Matt literally sings that exact line last episode, which I gotta say, that song was stuck in my head all fucking week.
That's what happens when you learn it.
I love that song, and we're gonna be revisiting that song whether anybody likes it or not. Okay, it's fun. I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna send it to Zach, and Zach's gonna sing it. Zach's gonna sing about how
This
much
is
of a
the first
sad,
time I'm hearing of
pathetic,
this.
single person he is.
I like
And-
so many other songs more. This is
Okay,
but
you do that. I'll
no,
rap
but you
to
learned
the
it.
One World song.
okay.
So-
Hell yeah! Now we're on track. Yeah, I think it's probably what's going to happen is the same thing that happened to you, where you're like, it's fine, and then you learned it, and you're like, this song's so interesting, and now it's stuck in your head.
Okay,
It's your whole world.
my whole love fest jizzing all over the song last week. I never said I loved it, but I did say I was surprised by it. How it's the most in-depth, intricate song they've done, and
You wanted to note specifically that today is the first time that you've said you love this song.
I said it last weekend. I think
You
I
just
said
said
it.
that you didn't say it last week.
I didn't say it was.
Are you playing hard to get with this song? We know you love this song.
I didn't say. I said I loved it last week.
George just.
But I
confirmed.
didn't say
last week
it was.
You said you liked it.
I didn't say it was intricate. I just said it's. Fuck, I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
I say this. I don't say this song is. You know what? I love the song. I'm just gonna stick with that. I unabashedly love that song from last week. We get a song this week that we'll be talking about. That one didn't move the needle for me. The music video was fucking baller funny, but the actual song.
I did love that.
I just appreciate when somebody behind the scenes like gives a shit and they put in more than 3 chords. And last week's episode had like a key change.
Yeah.
It had like a fun little guitar riff.
Yeah.
So
we love those.
Anyway, so we don't know when in the universe this is taking place. But here they are at Sharky's. Jenny's ex-boyfriend comes in, and we find out that they broke up because he's just a selfish poo-poo face, right?
Yeah, verbatim.
That's right. That's the only words they can get past the standards and practices people at NBC. So
it's an edgy show. For
speaking of
92,
money,
they're pushing
man.
it. Oh yeah,
Sly comes in, and we're wearing the most billowy blouse I've ever seen.
Big time.
And he's so stoked. He got the dreams a gig, a $250 gig in Santa Barbara. Do you remember what the place was called? I forget.
It's called the Cafe Surf.
Thank you. That's like a Bizarro Sharkies, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like the Seinfeld Bizarro, like everything's gonna be like mirrored. That's
Like the other band that plays like there is also like the California Dreams, but they're
they
all
should have
just,
like a pen pal exchange program where bands do residencies at the other place.
They're just like swapped, like maybe swapped genders. The other band has like a lady drummer and front person, and
a male bass player for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a sick ass band. I don't think I've ever seen that setup. Female
Ever?
drummer, female guitarist, male. I don't know. Maybe, you know. I've never seen Air Bud in a band, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Now,
So,
that's the first time we've heard you admit that. Just to
you would
note.
think after 19 Air Bud franchise films, I would have seen all of them, but
I know we need
I didn't.
Air Bud the Rock show.
I looked up Santa Barbara on a map. You know, I got
Yeah.
the globe, and it's 2 hours away from Los Angeles.
Just
So
as they predicted.
we knew that they were in LA. We just don't know where. But I was
That's
really
going to make
hoping
a
that
difference.
it was-
Actually, that could narrow down where in LA they are because it's so long.
Sure.
Is Santa Barbara? It's a cafe surf. It's on the coast as well, correct?
That sounds. You have to.
Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need a geoguesser expert to
Yeah.
find out exactly.
Well, you
have
were
a
just looking at
radius.
your globe. Do you remember if Santa Barbara?
Oh
Was
yeah,
on
well
the
I
coast?
spun it a couple times and threw a dart at it, and I was like, that checks out. It is actually 2 hours away.
Yeah, you did the finger measurement trick.
I did. I mean, I think 2 hours south of Los Angeles would be closer to San Diego. I don't know geography. This is the Carmen
It
San
is
Diego
south.
podcast, so they might be in Mexico if they go too far down.
Where? Where? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway, they have a gig in Santa Barbara. This is huge. This is probably their biggest, farthest gig, right?
Yeah, they're basically
And-
on tour.
Yeah, they are on a 1-day satellite tour. I love that when I think it, and I don't mean it with any shade. I think it's adorable when bands are like, we're going on tour, and it's like a 2 or 3 day stint. I'm like, I love that. Like I, a lot of people shit all over it, and it is kind of funny to poke fun at it, but good for them. It's so hard booking separate nights and shit and going out there.
Also, yeah, if you live in a city or a region of the country that allows for weekend gigs like satellite tours,
Yeah.
like why book long things where you're doing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where like in new cities where nobody's going to show up, when you could just do like weekends in your region and get 4 hours out. Nashville has a lot of cities around there. I know New York does as well. So
Yes.
I've done a lot of satellite tours.
I think it's better. I mean, it's my band, You Bred Raptors, has struggled with that over the years. Whereas, because we should be hitting these markets over and over and over again, getting ticket numbers up, hitting Santa Barbara, basically.
For real, come on.
And
Cafe surf, baby.
instead of going out to the fucking Midwest and playing podunk shit, fucking Farmville, Topeka, Kansas on a Tuesday.
Thank you for the subscription. We love you, Topeka.
It's just it's fun to go out there, and it's fun to kind of be against the elements, but it's such a money suck.
Yeah.
So anyway, proud of the dreams. All right.
Yeah.
And Sly, best manager ever. I'm gonna say it. Okay. I love the song last week. I love Sly. He's really funny. I laughed genuinely. He got a gig for a bunch of high school students at a fucking actual place that pays money. $250. That's like $500 today.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's fucking.
true. They don't
Okay,
have a
but-
ride, and they're like, all right, well,
Yes.
how are we going to get there? And he's like, don't even freaking worry about it, Bubs. We're going to
I
get
love
there.
that. He's also like, I got it. As opposed to somebody being like, well, you guys figured it out. I just
Wouldn't
booked the
that be
shows.
nice?
Like, Sly is all about helping out the band.
Yeah.
So so that's our dilemma. We're gonna jump to the garage, and well, the band
There
van
it is.
situation has already been settled, sort of. So the band van that they have is like an old school Bug, or it's a Volkswagen van, right? At least it's supposed to look like that. It's apparently they've painted this up to make it look like an old hippie van. Which you think about it, when this came out in the early '90s, this was, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it
that's-
is. It's a VW bus, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Yes, George agrees. He said
George's big gearhead on
I
the
agree.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That is a cute car. The classic VW bus is cute. And
They actually
I would totally love to tour in that.
They had legit a good, like an actual realistic band discussion. They're like, this has room for our instruments. You know, later in the episode, they're like fighting over who gets the drive, which I've never fucking had that happen. But you know, there's so I think of like Pit My Ride. I remember there was an episode where a band was like, "Oh, our van sucks," and they put a hot tub in there and a bunch of speakers, and there's like no fucking room for any instruments. And I think that gets lost in the mix. I mean, we could definitely tell oodles of stories about the shitty vans that we have had, Zach and I, in our tenure. But something like this, it looks like the equipment would go in the middle and the band would sit in the back. When they do finally get into the van later, they don't have instruments there, but they didn't show that they didn't. So good on them. I left it up to the imagination, like what they could actually bring, all 3 of their dinky practice amps. Or maybe this place has a full fucking backline. We don't know how Cafe Surf operates. They do things differently in Santa Barbara.
It's true. Very true.
But apparently the
true.
band will... This guy's Santa Barbara's. He gets it.
Yeah. I've been there. I saw it on a globe.
So as cool as the band van is, it's super legit. It doesn't fucking run, because of course it doesn't. And we see Gail pop into this scene. She's pissed.
not before. Actually, no, you're right. It's now.
Hey, what happens in this next scene, Zach?
Gail, also known as Melody, also known as Mom, also Mrs.
Just
Garrison.
Mom. We call her Mom here.
Is like, hey, Jenny, guess who's here to see you? It's your ex-boy fucker. I didn't.
What the hell, Gail? Mom,
old Eric.
Stop letting people in the house. She did this with Tiff's mom as well. Like, stop letting randos in.
Surprising.
She keeps letting in people from other people's past that they'd rather forget. Okay?
I didn't mean to call him a boy fucker as though that was a problem. I think it meant to roll off the tongue.
Fucking a boy is a problem.
Fucking a young boy is a problem.
Yes.
Fucking a male is really rock and roll.
Not a problem. Two consenting adults, sure.
Exactly. This boy fucko. There we go.
He's a fuck boy, I would say. He's like a selfish guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one wearing his outfit. What do you want to be called?
Probably not a boy fucker.
Not a boy fucker.
Because I think of how it could be misconstrued. You know,
yeah, for sure.
There's not enough. It's not specific with age there. You know. So.
What is this? What is her ex-boyfriend's name?
Eric Cardinal.
How? Let's just call him Eric. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah. Well, they only call him Eric Cardinal one time, and then it's Eric from now on. So we can do the same thing.
Okay. Eric Cardinal's his father. My name is Eric Sparrow, of course.
Of course.
I couldn't think of a funnier name for Eric, so it just came out as
Eric Sparrow.
Eric Sparrow. That sounds like a cool band name. Just saying.
Eric Sparrow. Eric Cardinal is a pretty solid name. Like you hear it and you're like, that guy made it up. And I think that's the type of. It's the names when you hear it and you go, that guy made it up. That you go, yeah, that's a cool name.
Okay.
It's so cool. It's so cool. It sounds fake.
Well, I guess it's as good a time as any.
Pete Raines, you spelled it different, you know?
That's true.
And it's like, that guy made it up. It's not even made up. It's real. It's your Christian name.
So
Zach Fable, real.
Totally real.
Real name. Cool guy.
Speaking of Eric Cardinal, his
George Howland at the moon.
He sounds religious. I want to say that I was going through some YouTube comments on these because YouTube is the only place you guys can watch this. If anybody's listening and they're like, what the hell? What the hell? You watch along on YouTube because none of this shit will make sense otherwise. Anyway, I found a comment on this YouTube that was like, I personally thought that the guy that played Eric was awesome. Thanks for the upload. And then somebody's like, why did you stop acting underneath? And the guy's like, I just left LA to do other things. It was the actual guy Michael
Wait,
Aaron.
really?
He commented 4 years ago, and then he commented else on the same one. He's like, "Hey, where did you get this? Can you put it up for download? I don't have this on my reel." So
What?
if
This
there's
all
somebody we
happened
could get,
over
we could definitely
comments?
get this guy on the podcast.
This all happened
is
in
what
a
I'm saying.
comment section.
Yes, yes,
I love this.
yeah. So it's just bringing people together.
What is
We
his
won-
name? What is the actor's name?
Michael Aaron. He's the firsty.
He is a firsty. He should have
Yeah.
kept Eric Cardinal, but that's just me. I hope we get Mikey Aaron on there.
Are you him? You have this striking resemblance to this man.
It's pretty bizarre. This might be your first celebrity guest. Hello and welcome.
Well, I just want to say before we
Me.
get out of the garage, Gail is upset. Mom's upset because it was very odd because she was like, "Look, I said I'm not going to put my car in here because you guys have to practice. And now that the equipment's moved out, I like want my car in there or something." I think they just gave her like a naggy mom part in this, which sucks because we love Gail. But
I don't know. I felt it was reasonable. It was just like, hey, if I can't bike,
you sounded like a cardinal. That's what
it
you
was
did.
my bullshit detector. I don't think she was being a naggy mom. I think she was like, hey, if I can't even park in here because you said I agreed not to park in here so that you could have room for band practice. So if we're not going to use our garage, our car garage for a car, then you can't either. This is for practice. Get the van out of my GD garage.
She would say GD.
She would say that.
Wait,
She would say that.
I got a question though. Back the VW bus up, Zach. How did Sly procure this vehicle as a 16-year-old man? Can you buy a vehicle when you're that young? Don't you have to be 18 to buy a vehicle? Literally don't know.
No, I think you might have to have.
You think he just
It
paid
depends
this,
on the
but-
state, I think, but I think you might need a parent to co-sign the title.
We've never seen Sly's parents, so
But it's probably,
we don't know if they're
George says
guarantors.
it's probably an undocumented vehicle, which would totally make sense. He
That's
probably got this.
illegal. This is a
He
legal
probably
van.
traded it for weed.
Sly's
Sly's
into
drugs.
ketamine. He's not into weed.
He gets a hold of whatever he needs to make a deal. All right, I agree with you. He doesn't keep it much at his house, just enough to take the
He doesn't
edge
get
off.
high off his own supply. That's Sly, baby.
That's debatable, but that is his motto.
Okay. So my next note here, when they go to the kitchen, is that Eric is got.
It's before we get to the kitchen. One of the times
what?
I laughed.
Oh,
and I
let's
gotta
hear
tell you
it.
about it. It's when so like Dennis, the little brother, also comes in with mom and is like, yeah, basically just like parroting, if not by word, by intensity, her like, hey, you got to get this thing out of here. It's like, haha, zing, mom's getting you. I love it when my siblings are in trouble. And then she's like, Dennis, I got this. Why don't you go? And then Sly says, yeah, why don't you go tease the lions at the zoo? That line really got me.
But
I
wait,
thought that was a
but wait.
really funny
last
diss
episode
to a
wasn't it-
child. Just like, go get eaten by lions is what he's saying. It's amazing.
But wasn't the last episode when Dennis and Sly were broing out and like having like swapping with like the sisters, right?
Yeah, which I would venture to say this adds some evidence that these are not back-to-back episodes
Here we
in our
fucking go
timeline.
with you.
I'm just going out on a limb, and I think this limb is sturdy.
Okay.
This limb would hold us both. As long
It
as
would
we
barely
need to
hold an
debate
Eric
this.
Cardinal. It's so flimsy, and I hate it.
Come on. You just said it yourself. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that Sly is picking on Dennis after they were just budding out just a mere week ago.
Yeah, a mere week. So kitchen. My note here is that
Yes.
Eric is dressed like a goddamn gondolier, which I
Oh.
love it. You could be in a boat for all I know. I don't know what's going on below you.
Yeah, well, let's keep it that way.
So, Kevin is his name. Eric is his name. He looks like a Kevin.
Take it easy.
He looks like a Joel Osteen. I don't know if you got
Oh,
that
a little
vibe,
bit.
dude.
Yeah. Okay. Now that you mention it, I did not. I did not pick that out, but yeah, he does have that sort of face.
Yeah, he's laying it on real thick with Jenny, saying, "I want to get back together. I've changed. I'm no longer selfish." And Jenny is like, you could tell she's kind of lapping up some of this. She's liking the attention, and she's like giving it some thought. And then the dad comes down, and he's like, not having it. Mm-hmm. This guy hurt his little girl, and he's kind of pissed. He doesn't want. Nobody wants Eric back in the picture, you know?
No, everybody kind of hates Eric.
But I honestly can't see this dad as a dad figure anymore, because we found out last episode, much to our chagrin, he is 27 years old when this was filmed, which we still, I think we've confirmed it with a few sources.
Yeah.
But now that I look at his face, I check, and the quality on YouTube is not great, but I'm like, I need a 4K version of this so I can see if there's like any crow's feet or any pock marks or anything. I need to see inside this man's intestines to see how many tree rings he has, because it does look like he's younger than a typical dad would be.
The more that we know he's young, as soon as he walked into the kitchen, I was just like scream, 27!
He's got a spring in his step. He's like parkouring down those fucking stairs.
Yeah, we need somebody to fix the IMDb if this is untrue. But according to that, he is 27. Yeah. I don't see it. I think there's a lie going on. There's got to be, but I can't.
I mean, even if he's 37, it's still a May-December romance with him and Gail, you know?
Yeah.
So, George is saying that he's 37. He put a crack team of investigators out on it, but I don't want you to spoil our fun. Okay, I still want him to be like the young Sprout. He's the anti-Grease character, basically. Yeah. Okay,
that was the hardest I laughed all year.
He's Benjamin Buttoning throughout this whole series. He's just gonna get younger and younger.
His sleeves are getting shorter and shorter.
He's
gonna be rocking the.
That's where Matt got it from.
Probably.
So we're gonna jump up to Jenny's room.
You're a son, you're a dad.
Which I mean, this is huge. No, I don't know if anybody got this. Jenny's room is not actually Jenny's room.
I did notice she had windows this time.
She had, her windows are not in the same spot. And guess what? Guess what's in place of the fucking shingles poster? A door to nothing. Matt's room is across the hall. Her room would be like side of the house wall. If you look at this one, I did a side by side because I did a video edit of their room, and as I said, I'm making an internal like floor plan for their entire house, and this is a different set completely that they use for her room.
Which one are you going to use? Is this the real one? Because they mention at some point like knocking on the door to like let me know, like Matt. So they have or not knocking on the wall. So they share a wall between these bedrooms.
Sure.
I assumed with this layout that maybe they share a bathroom, and it's kind of one of those like a door to that door that you see.
Yeah.
Goes into the bathroom that they share. That's kind of like they, two doors, one bathroom.
That would be new. That is not the same. This might be her room from now on, but from the last episode, or from Dream Man, where we see her having a slumber party, not her room. And they were not at Tiffany's place. They were not at Jasmine's place.
Is this the room that they... it's not blue, but is it the room that they paint?
I understand
that had a similar
is a good
window
point,
situation in the background.
Paint would not give you new windows and a door.
No, didn't it? Weren't there windows across the back wall?
You got it. You got to let this go, bud. It was Matt's room, as much as you want it to be Dennis's room or Jenny's room. They were trying to paint Matt's room.
Whose room is Jenny's now? You know what I mean? Everything's fucked up. We don't know.
You're right, because the one scene, Matt was saying, just, give a knock on that door. And he did point to the wall behind her, but there's nothing out there. All right? Because in the Dream Man episode, everybody came to scare all the girls out of the room so Sly could get under the bed. They came from the right side. They came from stage left. All right?
Maybe it's in the middle.
Work your magic. Make that make sense. Did they put on a
hallway
whole new
goes
addition
around.
to this house?
The hallway goes around.
This is like the House of Leaves house. All right?
Yeah.
It's just getting bigger and bigger inside and smaller on the outside.
This is wacky. So their time we're gonna have to come back to this. Maybe we'll get some more evidence in the.
We should get the Property
episode.
Brothers on the next episode and ask them for their expert opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, I really think they could use the press.
Yeah.
We'll let them on. We'll let them plug their little show. Okay.
Sure, give them a moment.
Oh,
But they got to dress
a lot. Wow. So anyway,
Well, this is
Jenny,
a sweet moment too, because Matt comes in.
Yes.
When Jenny's sulking, she's sad.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know what to do because she's thinking about it. She's thinking about taking Eric back.
She's real contemplative. Yeah.
She doesn't trust him, but also, like, I think they had a good thing for a bit. And Matt comes in, is like, "Hey, what? Do you need anything? You want to talk about it? How'd it go?" And she doesn't want to talk about it, but she appreciates it, and it's a sweet sibling moment. It's one of those, they pick on each other a lot, but also there are moments of like, no, they're like best friends
because they're homeschooled twins, and that's what twins do.
That's what happens when you're homeschooled and you're twins.
How long was she dating Eric Sparrow for? Because they broke up 6 months ago. It usually takes half the time to get over a breakup is when you went out. That's the old adage. So were they dating for a year?
Were they dating for a year?
Or is he the one that got away?
Whoa.
We don't know.
For a year? And we didn't hear anything about it?
I mean, that's a long time. That's how many horse years is that for a teenager? Like, I don't know what your first relationship was like, but like my first big real relationship was like 10 months. And that everyone was like, you guys are basically married by now. Where's your domestic partner papers? Because that's fucking huge.
2.5 years was my first, which was a very long time. Yeah. We grew old together.
You guys inceptioned together. That's
exactly.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. We really did. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, so a year, but yeah, a year is a long time.
Yeah. Well, we're guessing if any of our listeners have an idea, have any insider knowledge. Fuck, if anybody would know, it's Michael Aaron. If he's sitting there fucking making YouTube comments, why don't you write to this show and give us some background info, huh?
Yeah, you probably asked questions about it. You probably were like, hey, I want to know more about my character. I want to get some backstory. I want to be able to fill this out. I want to feel it.
What's my motivation?
Exactly.
Don Barnhart or whoever directed this. I'm just assuming he did a ton of Saved by the Bell episodes. But as Jenny's...
and like cheating, like to be cheated on, it
was
either
she cheated on?
Yeah, he cheated on her with his co-star at the high school play.
Okay, I got a lot to talk about
for a
with
while.
this fucking high school thespian.
Yeah, so I would say if there's a cheat situation, it's either they were together. This is just speculation, but I think they were either together for a long time.
Alleged crimes, Zach.
Yeah,
okay.
All right. They were either together for a long enough time that the cheating was like there was enough good that came before it to make it worth it.
That speaks volumes of how long they dated, I think.
Yeah, so that was like either a very long time or not that long. And it was like shitty, but it was like, it was like, I don't know. We hadn't been like not dating other people that long. Like, so maybe a couple of months. It's still cheating, still shitty. But like, it's not like, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll take him back.
Where did they find all these new people when they're homeschooled? I don't understand.
Oh, there are ways, my friend. You can
So-
go a long way on a bicycle.
Or sorry. Or a go-kart. That just happens to be in your garage.
Or a go-kart. That's right.
That's what we found. Battle of the Bands. Double date.
Double date.
Call back to episode 4. Please, guys, you got to go back if you understand what's going on.
Exactly.
Only 2 minds here, and George, bless his heart, in the back looking up all this shit for us. Know
Exactly.
the intricacies and the timeline of the linear California dreams. So
Yeah, and speaking, he'd mentioned something we forgot, we left out of this, is that Eric had just broken up with his girlfriend the day before he comes and asks Jenny out again.
Oh,
So he's
this fucker.
recently broken up, and he's like, I need you. I still love you.
That's a really good Eric
changed.
impression.
I'm different.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Did
Thank you.
Michael Aaron just call into the show?
Boom.
On our
Surprise.
hotline?
Surprise. I was acting.
He did say a funny
he's
line.
changed. Oh, do you want to say it?
I don't know. This line should have been better. You know what? Honestly, if Sly said this line, I would have laughed. But Eric said,
yeah.
I've changed. I only look in the mirror 11 times a day now. And like, okay,
Yeah.
he's vain. He's an actor.
Yeah, and it was with a little bit of like a wink, like I'm self-aware that like I've been a self-absorbed asshole, and so to say that is like I haven't really changed. I know that, but at least I'm aware that it's problematic.
Guess that's the first step to like, confronting a problem.
Yeah, or just getting people on board with it.
Zach, we're really bearing the lead here. As Jenny is sitting there contemplative in her room, stoic, waxing philosophic about what she should do, she dreams up an entire music video, a fully thought out, choreographed, acted, B-rolled, second unit directed music video in black and white. Do we want to talk about it?
When I tell you I scooped my jaw off the floor
With a spatula?
with a spatula, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting
No.
this.
We've gotten... Okay, so let's think of the other music videos we've gotten. One was during a gig.
Yeah.
I guess 2 was during a gig. We got the intro version, the director's cut of California Dreams. We got when they did Rain, we got the ventriloquist dummy
Love it.
song. And then the music video that Sly shot on the sly, if
Yeah.
you will.
They
And
made
then this
videos.
one where she's just sitting in her room. Does this mean that at any time these music videos could attack us?
Yeah, this was a surprise because they always like pick up their instruments. Matt always says, "Let's do it," and you
Yeah.
know it's gonna come.
Mhm.
And this time, she's just sitting there sad.
Yes.
Matt leaves the room like, "Hey, you'll be all right. Let
Yeah.
me know if you need anything." And then
think
boom, full on music video in her brain
I think
with the rest
he,
of the
like-
band.
So are they in her? Did they consent? Are they in her subconscious just playing out this entire thing? Is this in her head, or is this something that is a song they did? Because we find out literally in this moment that this episode is named after the song. Is this
Yes.
an actual California Dream song, or is this just something that's, as a songwriter? I don't know if Jenny's a songwriter, but this is what happens. I don't know if that happens with you, but when I come up with a song, it is a fully fledged black and white music video starring my friends, and the song is just
Yeah.
done.
For sure. That's how it all began. So that's how art's made, kids. George just informed us it's the first song on the album.
Bro, we've been threatening this. George got the actual CD of all this music that came out around the first season of this show, because when the show originally started, it was supposed to be like a Monkees scenario where they actually put this band on tour. So they put this album out so people could get used to it, and then they would see the show with all the stuff. So while we're not giving this away, we want you to know we have definitive proof that this song is the opening banger that we talked about last week.
Wow.
This song opens up the CD. This song is the definitive California Dream song. If you were you're going to pop this CD in, first track plays automatically, obviously. you either love it or hate it. This is going to be what you're in for. It's crazy.
That is crazy. This is not the foot I would lead with if I was this band. I think it's a fine song for sure, but like it's not the one that I would go, this sums up the attitude, the look, the vibe that we're going for. And you're like, this is an element that is very important to what we are.
Yeah.
But no, this is like a song 4, 5 on the album. Yeah.
Okay, just like quick question for you as a songwriter, since you're probably the one ordering your songs on the album. Is there like a specific track that you're like, you deep down you're like, I want a great one to be on this song, like number each time?
Yes, I think it kind of depends on the format, because we switched around the format. The last one was like a rock opera thing, and there was a bunch of it's like a radio drama. There were a bunch of skits in between, so it screwed up the order.
It's like a rap album.
It's a rap album, basically. That's yeah,
These
exactly.
nuts.
Yeah, no, I think number 2 needs to come in hot.
Okay, interesting. I mean, number 2 should be like the catchiest.
Yeah, like one should be like, oh, okay, cool. Like it can be an intro, it can be, instrumental. It can also just it's got to be good, and it's got to set the tone for the album. But but like, yeah, a single territory is track 2.
Sure.
Which I wouldn't put this song, this Jenny song, this time.
This is a B-side,
a single, yeah. So, yeah, it's sort of. But like ballads coming in around 4 or 5 is good. This is not a ballad.
What you said.
But
that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like you keep it high energy, and then you start like, you can soften it up, and then you get the energy back up, and then like the last ones are kind of like intermittent.
I will say track 9 for me has always been special for some reason. I mean, and that's every single album I've ever done, I've made sure track 9 is like means something to me since I was a kid. And stupid me for thinking people are actually going to listen to track 9 to get there. Probably should have put it earlier, but it's usually like a softer, prettier song. So I've always kept that at number 9s, and it's kind of worked, unless you're doing an EP or something like that where it's not that many. So, but
sure.
This song, whether we like it or not, George said he did like it, so we're gonna talk about that later in private, George. But I noticed there was a new bass for Tiffany that she was playing in this. Interesting. Couldn't tell what color it was since it was black and white, but I'm gonna do some research on
what shade of gray was it?
Well, it's 50 shades of them, and Jenny has a double stack keyboard in this. So she can pretend to play 2 layers of an instrument,
she's singing,
which is great.
That's like 3 instruments at once. That's crazy.
I had a question. Do you think that it... so we don't know if they actually shot this music video. Do you think that they rented out the warehouse, or they're just like urban explorers and they found a location and you're like, Matt, take your sleeves off. We're fucking filming this sick-ass video.
I mean, yeah, I think this could definitely be happening somewhere on like the road between LA and Santa Barbara.
And Santa Barbara, wow.
This could be like,
big day.
Oh, let's explore this place. This looks really cool. And then they're like, guess what? I brought my camera to document this. And then Dennis pops out of the back and is just like, good thing you got your second AD.
That's right. I brought the trash can that I'm going to be hiding in because I'm a garbage person.
Exactly. And he's still sipping on that milkshake, that chocolate milkshake. He's like, where'd you get that?
So in this video, which may or may not all be in Jenny's head, is the guy that she's like pushing away and talking to. Do you actually think that was the same guy who played Eric? Or it was all from the back? So is this a body double? Did they get like a... They got stunt
This is
double
another
for
reason
this
why
part?
we need Michael Aaron on here, because he could answer this question.
Legit, that dude would jump to be on this podcast. All right.
I hope so.
What other?
This
I'm
is
gonna
a really
look
good
up.
podcast.
We need to look up what other shows he's done. See if it's even worth talking to him about. But I want to get some
maybe
dirt.
he's been on Seventh Heaven.
Do you think? Okay, so I've already spoiled to Zach and everyone else that Jenny leaves in a few episodes, but I did that like the first episode. So stop. But do you think that she confided in him and all? And she's like, yo, I'm bouncing. Come with me.
Whoa.
You think he knew before the rest of the cast?
Whoa.
It's possible. It is possible.
Okay, it is actually very possible because there is the behavior of her this entire episode. Yeah, she's losing interest.
She does seem to be phoning it in, but this also could be the writers. They just don't know what to do with her. You know, they needed a juxtaposition with Tiffany, who was like very bubbly and always saccharine and really positive, and Jenny is just, you know, she's the curmudgeon, you know, but
Yeah.
you need a person like that in the band. You know, I've been that person in the band. I look just as pretty as Jenny. That's why
I think
I
so
fit
too.
that mold.
I think it was great. Yeah.
This is
He's apparently Michael Aaron's been in Fallen, Star Trek: The Next Generation, Midnight Caller, and Tribes. So I don't know. Now we know that, and now everybody does.
I'm really glad we started this Midnight Caller podcast because I want to know about it.
I do too.
There's plenty of Star Trek podcasts that I think he would be into as well.
Yeah, and Tribes. I don't know what Tribes is.
I got something to talk about that's pretty important that I don't think anybody else may have noticed. We're gonna jump to the garage, and I guess the van is still there, but behind the van, there's a poster. Do you know what I'm talking about, Zach? Do you know where I'm going with this? Have you heard of this? There's a poster that says, I'm clutching my microphone like it's gonna make anybody hear me more. There's a poster that says REM behind the van.
Is it the one that used to live in Matt's room?
Nope. This is a poster that says REM, but the picture is actually of the band Typo Negative.
Wait, are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you.
What? Okay, I gotta go.
Someone should find the timestamp for this.
I gotta go see this.
I had
will
to
find the
zoom in, and
timestamp.
I was like, "That's Peter Steele of the band
No
Typo Negative." It's not an
way.
easy band to mistake.
No, not at all.
He's like 9 feet tall, but it's like it's not even close to what REM looks like. So I have to ask, like, what happened in the department? What happened in the set department that was like, quick, we need a band poster, and then they're like, I could only find a photo. They're like, give me the name of a band. Nobody's gonna notice. Are you looking this up?
Yeah,
you
I'm
look
looking
intent.
at it.
Okay, so
Sorry,
everyone, it's okay. Everyone out there is just gonna have to wait because this is really important.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I should have made the
I'm trying to
timestamp
find
of it. So.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna find this timestamp. I gotta.
Everyone
get
on
in
Patreon is just waiting, bated breath.
Get in here. Okay, we're close. We're getting close.
I'm so close.
I'm
Stop
in the
edging
video.
everybody, Zach.
I know.
This should be up when you start, sir. Where's James?
Wait,
Our
there we
last couple guests ago, we had James. He had timestamps on the ready.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in the garage. You said it's behind the van?
It's somewhere.
Oh shit.
I'm not making it up, right? That's Typo Negative, right? Zach is peering into the screen.
Let me put on my spectacles. Let me get my cheetahs. I think this might be REM.
No, there's no fucking way. Michael Stipe was bald at that point.
Yeah, I think he's the one on the far left.
No, it's Typo Negative.
Somebody's in a bathtub. Which one is Peter Steele, do you think?
It was the one with the long hair.
The one on the far right?
Oh, my God. You're going to ruin this whole bit. I'm going to have to cut all this out if I'm wrong.
I'm so sorry. I don't think it... Am I looking at the wrong poster?
Our fans demand excellence, so...
Yeah, I don't think it's... I think it's the shadow. I think Michael Stipe's got a sweater or a shirt like draped around his shoulders that looks like hair.
You can't see... If you're just listening, you can't. No, nobody can see the sadness on my face now. that
I'm so sorry.
this isn't typo negative on.
I'm
gonna make that poster now, just so you know.
I would put that up. I love it. I love typo negative.
Well, I just want to throw back to Jenny's room as we were talking about. Suppose there's a poster in her room that we could not decipher. We swear it says. I was told it said the Police, but then I have looked. I've shown people, and they all say the Shingles. So, which was not a band. So this set decorator is fucking with us, and he has no qualms about making up a band. You know, so this is. I would not put this past him. That's all.
It could be. We're
gonna look up old REM posters and see if we can find this one. Okay, and
yeah, because I think I've seen one. Bathtub, REM poster bathtub.
You're gonna get some kinky shit from that search, sir.
Wouldn't be the first time. I don't.
Okay, so while Zach's looking up Tub Girl, I noticed here. This is where they're starting.
I don't see it. REM the band.
Okay, so Zach, how are they rehearsing with the van still in there?
I mean, I don't know.
They go up to Matt's room. That's the answer.
Oh.
Okay. That doesn't happen yet, so don't worry. But we see Jenny come in here with Eric Sparrow, and apparently she's basically like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to come to practice. I got to help this doofus with his fucking lies." Okay, it's a big deal. He just got fucking boat shoes over here. Has just got accepted in. Okay, what? I'm trying to move on.
I'm sorry, I found it.
Did you find it?
I found it.
Put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. I'm so sorry. This is why we need California Dreams to eventually be on a streaming site or something where we can see.
Oh,
I see what you mean, because everybody's like somebody's wearing a white shirt and a black vest that looks like long hair. They all like typo negative for those who don't know. Like all of them had like long black hair past their nips, and like
this is
looks like that with everyone.
It's
like
so crisp
Michael
in this one
doing,
that
doing like this, like has his hands on his shoulders. And the shadows from his arms look like long hair from a distance. This band looks nothing like typo negative when you can see the image. But
because on YouTube, from far away in the corner,
it does.
It does.
It does, and I love that.
I love that.
I really wish it was typo negative.
I really wish so too.
No,
I want that collaboration. Rest in peace.
The guy on the far right, I don't know the I don't know everybody.
That's the bass.
He looks the most like he is in typo negative.
That's Jeff.
He actually
Jeff
does.
Buckley, isn't it? Wait, no, it's Jeff Buck something. Whatever.
Jeff Buckley wasn't in REM.
Not Buckley and not Jeff Beck. It's something with a Eck in there. Buck Cherry. There it is.
It's Buck Cherry. That's when Buck Cherry was in REM.
Did Buck Cherry name themselves to be like Chuck Berry? Did I literally just put that together?
Oh.
They're the fucking worst.
Oh,
how did I just come up with that?
I didn't know that either. I didn't catch that. Is that so stupid?
That lead singer, like all his songs are about being on drugs and stuff, but I just want to say real quick, he has one of the worst fucking cameos in any. He's in a scene in the movie Triple X where they're at a party with a bunch of extreme sports people, and he's just fucking there next to Matt Hoffman and Tony Hawk. And it's upsetting. I got to move on. I'm really sorry for this.
That movie kicks ass. His cameo in that was not nearly as good as his cameo in the REM band poster.
Okay, thank you. I deserve that. Anyway, I don't know where to start, but Jenny and
how much did we lose?
Jenny and Eric come in. I'm the one that's at it. Jenny and Eric come in they're about to have band practice, and then boom, Jenny's like, gotta help this guy with his line, and fucking Boat Shoes over here is like, he's just like weirdly okay with her just ditching practice while she's fucking right there, you know? And it's just going to show you that he's super selfish.
You promised.
But he just he landed the part of the lead in the school play. We don't know do we know what the play is?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
yes, we do. He said it. Do you want to guess? It's somewhere in there.
Romeo and Juliet, probably.
You're kind of warm in it's a romance, but it's a little bit more stalkery. It's like a stalker.
Our Town.
Nailed it. Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, right, because they have a bunch of decorations at Sharky's. Okay, we're getting way too ahead.
Nobody's wearing a phantom mask.
Yo, okay, so I'll jump ahead a little. They got a show in Santa Barbara. Usually there's a week time, and later in this episode, Matt says like a week. The van's been in the garage for a week, right?
You're right.
So that means, are you listening? That means the auditions, the selection, the learning lines, the auditioning or the rehearsals, the tech rehearsals, and opening night has all happened in 7 days, 168 hours. Zach, you work in a theater. What is
impossible.
It? Usually these fucking, it's like a whole semester, right? You work an entire semester. You build sets, you learn lines, you get an understudy. I don't know.
Look, I didn't
shit.
do like high school like the rest of you, okay? So I don't know, but I know other plays, take months.
Yeah.
Months.
I'm not trying to school-splain anything to you, Zach, but yeah, months and months and months.
Yeah. No, that's why I'm just admitting that I can't say with full authority that like this is like, what did you say, semester? This I know what a semester is. I did that for the camera. No, but it takes months. It takes months. You know what? I have friends who have kids. Okay, actually, no, this is great.
Brag much?
Yeah, I know. I have friends who have
My
kids
friends are fertile.
who are in high school, who are currently have a play. They're
have
doing
tons of children. Yeah.
At the first, so they had auditions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably like 8 weeks. It's like an 8 week.
Okay, so you got the part, right? You do the audition, you beat out a bunch of people. Why do you need to learn your lines then or after you landed the part? What's the intensity? What's the fucking purpose there?
Well, we find out that it's not actually the lines.
Oh, they're going to smooch?
Because that when they're rehearsing, he's got a whole other thing that he's doing. But I wanted before we leave the garage, I do want to make mention of another time. Man, a lot of LPEs here.
Okay,
happened in the garage. I'm noting. Mom wonders why the van is still there, and Sly says, "This puppy will be purring like new," and then slaps the van, and the horn goes off, and it's like
that's.
No, it's not done yet. It's just going off, and it won't stop. And then
they all kick it.
And then Tiffany, Tony, and Matt, like all in unison, back kick the van, and the horn goes off. And I laughed. I got it.
Wow.
I laughed.
I love your transparent honesty on this show.
Look, it's the choreography. You know that I love the physical comedy, and anytime that somebody came in and was like, they did the line or they did the joke, and then somebody was like, no, we gotta like do it all together, like do it in sync. This is how we're gonna. There have been moments that we've breezed past that also made me laugh, but that had to do with the camera. Not in this episode. No, like episodes ago that I have regret for. You know.
Yes.
That like did a like a, oh man, I'll just tell you about this. You can cut this out. It's fine. But there's like there was a moment when they're like,
Hold on. Do you not want this in the episode?
oh no, it's not like vile or anything. It's just probably irrelevant because it happened a few.
Okay,
episodes
because
ago.
I don't cut the YouTube feed.
Oh, that's
He has got the Patreon
Okay.
feed, so these poor
Right.
people are going to hear it. So you started it. You better finish it, mister.
Just want to make sure.
okay. No, thank you for specifying. I'm gonna make it filthy now. No, they just
Fucker over here.
they just like Jenny's like, yeah, we'll be there. You can count on me. You can count on Tony. And like so like the camera's on Jenny, and then it's like it slides over to include the others as they're like as they're being mentioned. And they're like, yeah, you can count on me. You can count on Tony. You can count on Tiffany. You can count on, and then it like widens to see Sly, and then it's like Tiffany, and it like it pans in closer to like cut him out as she's talking. God, this show really doesn't offer much.
Apparently it does.
These are the moments. These are the moments that really I have to cherish and hold on to and squeeze every bit out of. Golly, I
It makes
loved it.
me remember these parts, and then I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. So I'm
Okay,
glad we
well,
have both
thanks.
of us here to do it, because I might miss stuff as I'm writing down notes voraciously. I did notice before we leave the garage that Tiff's base is just standing against the dryer. Like it could fall over at any time, which we've all done. So that needed to be said.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. No, we can talk. We do need to sometimes.
Matt's
talk about
wearing an
van stuff.
Indian shirt, like an Indian motorcycle shirt.
Yeah, because he's working on the van.
Is that why?
I think it's kind of like, you know, when you're doing mechanic stuff,
Uh-huh.
you wear clothes that people who tinker would wear. And like
There
he's
it
kind of
is.
a cool guy. He can work on engines. He knows what.
I mean,
he knows
we've
how
seen him
do
try
that.
to fix a fucking washer though, and he fucked that
Yeah.
up. Remember?
Well, no, I know it's kind of pretend. He's pretending.
he's pretending.
Like I think
Oh,
this is what people who aren't actually that good at it do. You know, they're
Well-
like, I'm gonna dress up for the occasion because they like,
Uh-huh.
don't do it.
I don't know.
often
He's
enough.
worn a motorcycle shirt before. I think he just likes to fucking. He likes wheels, yo.
I think it might
there's-
be also a little bit of foreshadowing for his replacement, who does ride a motorcycle.
Wow. You're not supposed to know about that, Zach.
Well,
This is Christmas Eve, and you're looking for presents, and I don't like.
I shook the box.
Scoot your
That's
butt
all I
back to
did.
bed.
I didn't open anything. I shook the box, and it sounded like Legos. All right, and the sound of the new
Why
guy
would I
riding
just?
in
It's just a box
on a
of Legos.
motorcycle.
It's not even a box from Legos.
You always know it's Legos. It sounds like that.
Are they just? They're not even in there properly. Like they're just.
I'm not the one who packed this, who wrapped this Christmas present. All right,
It's
Who
your
came up
divorced
with this.
dad.
It is the
it's
biggest
Tiffany's
set.
deadbeat mom. I only bring this up because later there's a Columbus reference. So do you think this is some kind of reference? This is like the movie Room 237, where it's all about Native American relations, you know? So we got the Indian shirt, we got a Columbus
It's like a
reference.
conspiracy.
I think so.
There might be
that's
something behind that.
literally the only note that I had of them at Sharky's. So I think we're going to move on unless you had a laugh at this moment.
You know what? I did have a laugh at this. Because Jenny,
Go on,
you'll
buddy,
be
man.
happy because it was Sly who made me laugh. But Jenny and Eric are running lines at Sharky's, and then she's like, "Wait, this doesn't sound like Phantom of the Opera," and he's like, "Just keep going." And then it's like it ends with them kissing. It's a scene. It's a romance scene, and it ends with these two
Okay.
characters kissing, and like the rest of the gang are also at Sharky's watching from a distance. And Matt thinks he's a snake. Tiffany thinks it's romantic.
Yeah.
At this point, someone in the audience, like the canned laughter, somebody goes, "Woo!" just like out of nowhere after Tiffany says she thought it romantic, and it was out of place, and that made me laugh. So I think that kind of warmed me up for then the next. Tony thinks it's smooth, but he shouldn't need a script. And then it like pans over to Sly, who's like taking notes, and he's like, "Wait, what was that last line?"
I don't.
All right.
I don't know why I invited you on this podcast because I had no clue when I invited you on that you would love this so much.
One episode.
I thought we were gonna clown on this show. Maybe you are just exhausted and like everything is funny. Like you're getting delirious.
It's been rough.
Okay, so we're gonna jump to once you've regained your composure, we're gonna jump to Matt's room. The piano's back. They're having a rehearsal without Jenny, and they sound fucking fine. Okay, I think I hear keyboard in there anyway, but whatever. They're playing a song they already knew. I don't know if this was supposed to be because it's small and they're in Matt's room, but Tiffany has her bass slung on the wrong shoulder. I don't know if you noticed that while she was playing.
Oh, interesting. She was in a hurry.
I guess so. I've never played my. I've seen people play like
slip
that.
It on and you're like, oh shit, I wasn't ready.
It takes literally about a third of a second more to just throw it over the other shoulder, though. It's dangerous, kids. All right, it's irresponsible.
You're right.
It's bad for your back, probably too. They kind of sounded fucking fine without Jenny. I mean, honestly,
yeah.
Other than that sick ass keyboard solo, I don't really think that she's adding much musically to the band. I hate to say it.
I think you're just trying to make it easier because you know what's coming.
Oh, I'm trying to push her away so she can't hurt me.
Yeah,
that sounds like what I do.
Yeah, this is par for the course, Pete.
Hey, the dad comes in and he said, I can't grade papers with all this racket going on. So this is the first time since the pilot episode we've gotten a mention of what he does for a living. So he's a professor again.
So he's still a professor.
Yeah.
Good to note.
And then this scene devolves into fucking chaos. I
loved it.
I don't know what this was. A lot of physical comedy coalescing together for a sec. This organized mayhem. Jenny gets a phone call at some point. She's coming back, I guess, to rehearse, and then she gets a phone call. This fucking possessive, clingy ass motherfucker is like, he just left her downstairs. I don't know where he's calling from, and he's like, I need you to come back. You know?
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
Yeah, they were just at Sharky's running lines.
Is this the same day? We don't know. They were supposed to rehearse that day.
Oh, were they wearing the same outfits? Normally, I pay attention to that thing. I'm sorry, I failed. I can look at it. You want me to look at it?
No, we've wasted too much time on that. All right.
Oh,
when Peter Steele shows up, I'm so upset.
I'm sorry. I'm upset too. I wish things were different.
I mean, it would be fine if we could get this show on fucking streaming or like a DVD for God's sake. Like that's
what I'm saying.
It's ridiculous. It's on like fucking 160 on YouTube. You know,
they're wearing different outfits.
It was filmed with a potato. Okay, all right. Now we got that figured out.
Yeah.
I did have a question here. Like before Jenny bails again, she whistles to get everyone to shut up. Zach, do you know anybody in your life that can whistle? Can you whistle?
Yeah, both my parents. You mean like the finger in the mouth type whistle? Yeah, both of my family can do it. I have done it a handful of times in my life, and every time I do, it feels really cool. But I don't do it frequently enough to get good at it. No, you do have to practice. Practice. That's what they always say. What the hell?
Do it.
I know.
You can't do it now. You forgot. Something in there. It was like a dog whistle. That's not bad.
Yeah, only dogs could hear it. Everyone. Oh, do you hear that? Every dog in the neighborhood's going nuts right now.
Matt has no sleeves, just for anybody keeping track on this scene.
He hates sleeves, and it's summer every day in California.
You know what he said here? He's like,
I love this. I love the no sleeves but hood. The hoodie with no sleeves combo. You remember those?
My head is warm, but my arms are a little brisk. I love that.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever do the hoodie
Dude,
no
I
sleeves?
have never done no sleeves. I did it once for a show where we covered the Olympics theme in 2012, which was totally my idea. We arranged 2 Olympics themes and wore ridiculous outfits because I was so excited for the Olympics. I love the Olympics. It's so dumb because I hate sports. I hate commercials. I hate nationalism. I hate patriotism. I hate human interest stories that like the American Broadcast Network will always put into the Olympics. I usually just watch like the CBC or the BBC footage. But I love the Olympics. It makes no sense. Anyway, so we played. That was the only time I had no sleeves on in my life since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It felt nice and breezy, I'll be honest, because we were playing a show and I was like, damn, I wish I had the guns to pull this off like Matt.
You've got a hood on right now, don't you?
I too. So if I pull
You ever
hard
thought
enough,
about,
cross arm, I could
losing
take these. If we get the same amount of Patreon supporters that Zach goes shirtless, I'll go sleeveless for a whole episode.
Oh,
my
same episode.
solemn oath. You're gonna get some skin on this. You know what we always say on this podcast: more skin, more sales.
That's right. That's right. Well, unfortunately, for some, you might say, we're gonna do it the opposite. So more sales, more skin.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we gotta sell first, and then we're gonna show skin.
Sell.
But also,
wait. So I just want to say this scene. I don't know if something else made you laugh, but Matt said something. He said on Tuesday in this scene. He mentioned something about Tuesday, and that is the first time in the entire show, in 12 episodes, that they've said a day of the week that isn't Friday or Saturday. There it is.
whoa.
The other days of the week exist in the California Dreams universe.
Yeah. There's so far there
put
is
that in your calendar.
Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, yesterday,
Birthday.
and tomorrow. Birthday.
Sweet 16.
Gonna count that as the same.
Yeah.
And they never actually mention an anniversary date, but you can tell that's what's happening.
I mean, Gail and Dick had
Right? Did they say
an
the words
anniversary.
anniversary, or it just was heavily?
They said, yeah, it
implied?
was like a 20-year, or we don't know how long, but it was definitely an anniversary. They said around your anniversary time, you guys get quite ornery
You're
for
right.
each
What
other.
am I thinking about? Jeez,
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. I
so
watched the show. I promise.
Jenny, what's
I
up?
just do it for the laughs.
Man, it's like every scene made you chuckle.
Look, also you're right that the previous scene with the chaos and everybody's yelling at each other
Yes.
made me laugh. It's like then Tony's just like isn't arguing, but he just grabs the amp and just is like creating feedback to like drown them out, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Dennis runs in and he's like, "Woohoo, party!" and just starts jumping on the bed yelling. I think that was more because it was just absurd, not like this is really giving me a good hearty chuckle. This was just like this is bananas that this is happening, and it really the energy of this episode really feels like somebody gave a shit. There are a lot of episodes in this season that doesn't feel like that. Feels like they're just getting through it, and it feels like they're not taking the opportunity to like. The bumper falls off and lands on Tony's foot at some point. Like they had to rig that, like the prop department, they had a van. Like that's such a small thing to do for a show, but this show doesn't give us stuff like that. They didn't have food at their favorite restaurant for like 7 episodes. I think and we had trees this episode and last. There's an outside world at California Dreams that never did exist. This show is expanding. It's growing. This world is more than we ever knew.
This is you at the end of the King's Speech, getting over your stutter and finally saying what you wanted to say for so long.
Oh.
Why isn't if somebody's not slow clapping in their car listening to this, like you're fucking up, all right? Jesus. Well said, dude.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
said,
you.
Zerf, dude. That's good, man.
I'm not my I might not. We'll see what next episode brings. You know, it might take me back down to earth.
Okay,
But
so
right
we
now, wow.
we gotta keep going,
I was
man.
like, did they get a new director? You know what I mean?
No, this is Don Barnhart, who directed the bulk of Saved by the Bell episodes. So maybe that's why. You know, he brought some excellence to this.
Wait, this episode specifically? So this is it? This is
Don
a different
Barnhart.
director than the other episodes?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Then there it is. That's different. Then that it shows.
Okay, I mean,
It showed.
Yeah, he put his magic touch all over this. But
I mean,
I'm sorry, we got to move on, Zach. We have to move on.
I kind of hate Saved by the Bell.
People are demanding. We're getting calls.
Let it be known.
The telethon lines behind me are ringing off the hook. They're like, "Shut up, stop. We gotta go on." What happens?
You mean you in the future listening to this, being like, "God damn it, this is so much to edit out. I'm having to do so much work this time." Okay.
So anyway, Jenny is gonna bail on a gig. I got thoughts about that. Sucks. Like, she's straight up like, yo, this gig in Santa Barbara we definitely had for a while, a week. So much has gone on. But she's like, no, I got to go to the cast party for fucking Eric Sparrow. And that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
I've had people try to get out of gigs.
She also calls.
Well, she calls what?
She calls Matt Geraldo for getting after her, for naming all the ways in which Eric hasn't changed, which also feels like an old.
That'll never age. Kids love Geraldo.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if this is for kids or the parents that are watching with their kids.
Yeah, but teen shows, like kids' movies, parents took them to, but like kids' shows, like teen shows like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was Saturday morning, so it's just on when they're eating maybe breakfast and the family's there. People aren't going to work. Dad's home. So maybe it was a little bit like, hey, we got to make this stomachable.
Stomachable.
Yeah.
So we're going to
How would you say, Mr. Smarty Pants?
Maybe digestible?
No.
It's stomach adjacent. That's
wrong. Yeah, okay,
cool.
that's fine. Okay, we'll do it your way next time.
Intestine, maybe?
Warmer.
We're going to go to Sharky's. And of course, the cast party is here at Sharky's. Duh, it's attached to the school.
Of course.
I still don't like. This is opening night. Zach? Is this a soft open or is this like opening night? Because they call it opening night, and it's really what happens during a school. They have the. I'll tell you what happens to school because you don't know. They have that during the day. They have basically 2 or 3 shows. One is for the kids and then one is for the parents. That's it. You know, it doesn't get sold out. It's a captive audience. Nobody pays for tickets.
Wasn't it? So they went opening night the night before, and then she can't make the gig because it's the cast party.
No, I say this is the same day, which means the cast party is during the fucking day because they have a 2-hour drive to Santa Barbara, and I guarantee that this show... we don't know if this is a weekend. So much happens during this day because they're like, okay, well, do we have time? Yes, we have time to go down to Sharky's, convince Jenny to leave her stupid new boyfriend, old ex-boyfriend, and then we have to drive 2 fucking hours. You got to at least leave an extra hour or 2 before you play. Right? That's
except maybe it's the night before and they're going to be going there early so that they can shoot this cool music video in this abandoned warehouse that they found along the way.
We don't see any sunlight. There's no way these people live in fucking Alaska.
We don't know for sure that the sun exists in this show yet. We haven't seen it. We've only seen trees.
We saw a tree, maybe 2 trees total.
Yeah, and a fence.
This is really a commentary on our depleting national resources of Mother Earth.
Yeah,
that's what this hippie van was.
That was 1992. Not much has changed in 30 years. Wake up, America.
No. Yeah. Al Gore tried. Guys, imagine peace.
Maybe next time.
Okay, so basically, they go to the cast party.
Yeah.
Eric's
do you want to
dick.
tell them why they that they fixed the van in the kitchen?
No, you tell.
Okay. All right, I'll do the honors.
Okay.
They're really excited. They tell mom that they fixed the van, and there turns out what was wrong with it this whole
Right.
time.
Yep.
It didn't have any gas in it.
No gasoline. That's
No
right, y'all.
gasoline.
No gasohol.
Sly, come on.
Yeah, dumb.
How did
but
you
know
get
what?
it there?
Honestly, if that happened to our van and like the thing was like the gas gauge was broken and it just didn't have any fucking fuel, that would be, I would like be hugging people because it's like, oh my God, we don't have to pay like 10 grand. We didn't get a fucking lemon. I'll pay
That's
for
true.
everything basically. Like, and we're fucking set to go. So Sly made a great purchase. I don't know with what. Maybe it was with that jingle money from the root beer guy.
Oh, that could be.
Who knows?
Did you think it was funny when they said that the gas gauge E does not stand for
enough? That's pretty
enough?
good. Yeah, that was probably my only chuckle during the show.
Okay, that's the only time you chuckled this episode?
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Dennis jumping up and down on a bed and yelling inanities, okay?
Okay, that was also pretty low on the list of laughs for me. All right. That one was like it was an absurd laughter. It was like the kind when you're furrowing your brows and shaking your head and you're like, what? You darn kids.
You can either laugh along or cry. So
yes.
I get it. Get it. So anyway, I guess they drove their new van to Sharky's.
Yep.
Right?
Oh,
no, they
walked
back.
there.
So Sharky's walking
there.
is it walking distance?
Everything.
Oh
is,
wait, sorry. In the
for
kitchen,
Santa
they're
Barbara.
like, Sly, the only place you're going is to the fucking gas station to get gas. So I guess Sly is walking, and he's not there. So this is like a clue
They
situation.
might have just had to go home to. Maybe they did drive the van, and then they drove. They got to come back home to pack up because they hadn't packed up.
Okay,
This
so we don't know
party's
what
at
time of day.
11
We don't know
a.m.
what time this show at Santa Barbara is. We don't know what if Club Surf has a sound check.
Yeah.
We just don't know. But we do know that we're at the cast party and Eric is acting a fucking fool as usual. And he's like, I'd never ask you, Jenny, to give up anything important. And she's like, I ditched this gig for you. And he's like, well, how important could it be then? And that's some fucking grade A gaslighting from Eric Sparrow, huh?
Yeah.
Bring him on here. Be like,
say.
dude, did you pull from personal experience to say a line like that? Because that's a whopper.
It's true.
What a dick
It's
face.
true. Also, I agree. And also, there was a little bit of a like, hey, Jenny, we got to check your priorities a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, he's like, how important could it be?
Yeah.
It was like, well, maybe you're not taking this as seriously as you once did.
Oh, yeah, it's devious.
I'm not saying that he's a shit. You know, I do not like
shit.
this guy.
And all she was asking for was like, take me on a walk. I'm feeling a certain way. Let's just get a breather. And he's like, I can't leave my gas party. I have adoring fans, which it's probably just other people in the fucking in the play. You know, it's his understudy that's going to push him down the stairs so they get the lead. I mean, why is he so happy about this lead? He's got to wear a mask like the whole time, right? Is he the Phantom?
Maybe he's the other guy.
Okay.
You know
what
I mean?
No, I don't. I'll be honest. I've never seen Phantom of the Opera. I don't know the actual storyline.
It's about a guy who's scarred and in love, and he plays really sick music, and then a girl that he's obsessed with, and then he captures her and is like, sing for me, and she does, and other stuff happens too, but that's really the coolest stuff.
So it's like the movie Mask with Cher and Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is like that.
Glad that's cleared up. Yeah. Anyway, she's like, you suck.
Why didn't I say that the first time?
I'm going to my gig. And they had like the band had just left. So is she gonna run after them? They get cabs back then. I don't understand how they get home and where the home is.
It's close. They skated there.
They go back to the garage, and Jenny apologizes. And like George had mentioned this earlier, but like this is actually the best acting we've seen from Jenny this entire season. She's kind of crying and apologizing and saying Matt's a great brother and sorry she fucked up. She's only human. She's lonely, you know?
Yeah.
So good on her. Maybe this is her swan song before we go. Who knows?
Maybe so. They were all fighting over like who was going to drive, and they all gave different reasons and stuff.
And Tiffany, who did not have a big part in this episode, she was doing a little mitigating at one point, her and Tony, when the siblings were kind of rivals for a little bit because of the band. I mean, we didn't really touch on it, but Jenny's putting the band in jeopardy, you know, and Matt is like, yo, don't fuck it up. But, you know, he obviously doesn't want her to quit the band. It's his sister.
Yeah.
But Jenny's like, I'm driving because I'm here and I got the keys. Get in, bitches. We're going. So we don't see them load the van up, but we're going to assume it's in there. And we're going to assume that they made
Tiffany did.
Made their gig.
Tiffany's the one with the keys and the bitches.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, did I say Jenny?
You said Jenny is okay.
Okay.
We all make mistakes.
I mean, what am I, Zach, on episode 1 and 2 of Surf Dudes with Attitude, mixing these girls up? I am sorry.
Whoa, take it easy.
It's okay. I've called her Kelly for a while.
I did call her Kelly for so long.
I mean, it's close.
Oh man,
it's
close.
Anyway, we get a really odd still frame to end the episode, and it's kind of pensive, and it's Jenny being like, "These are my true friends," but you know, I think at that moment, I think the actress definitely knew that she was like probably leaving the show. You know, in a few episodes. So? I mean, it's definitely, this was like her episode to kind of shine. I think this is maybe when they found out, and they had to write her something quick. She does leave on like season episode 3 of the next season. So
dang, that's so soon. We got 4 more episodes with her. Yeah,
that's right. And anyway, so that's the end of the episode. That's episode 12 of California Dreams. You have any thoughts? You have any final thoughts about this episode?
I thought it was very sweet. You know, overall, I've had siblings who date people who I didn't like, and vice versa. And there have definitely been moments of tension of those like things getting in the way of family, of band, you know, and it's like having those moments, but then also like the ultimately like, hey, I want you to be happy. Like I'm being protective because this guy's been a jerk, or, you know, this doesn't seem fulfilling. So yeah, I think it was handled really well. I think it's been many episodes since we've had like people kind of ending up doing the right thing, even through the troubles and the tribulations and kind of the fuck ups, but ultimately coming around and coming back together to be a solid band. They did it. They did a good job. They're a family and they're a band.
They're family. That's what you're saying.
That is what I'm saying. I think that is a little bit more intestine-y, as you would say.
That's so good. It's nice. I did want to say something. I was doing some sleuth. This is so stupid. This is dumb. This is my stupid warning.
All right, first time on this episode.
So, I mean, so in the intro, I don't know if you've seen the intro to this. So they show, this is just something I've been kind of pondering over the last 12 episodes. The font of California Dreams, the font, there's different colored letters. It's always the same, but so I was wondering, I was like, what do these letters mean? I'm going to be a cryptographer here, and I'm going to Da Vinci code the shit out of this. So I took down all the letters that were different colors, and I put them in a list to try to find an anagram that might have some clue about the mysteries of the show. Maybe we could find out what the timeline is so screwy. Okay. I see your face of hope, and
We're getting somewhere.
I don't want to dash it too much, but
That's okay. Don't just let me ride this feeling.
I have one anagram that works really well, and I want to say it to you, and I want to leave you with it. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready? So the letters are ARN, RNR, KPKA, YIE, EILR, MICE, MIC, AIY, Y apostrophe L, STE, OA, period SO, BRD, RE, period B. The entire thing. So
Okay.
half of those I took of just the main characters before the Garrison family, outside of Jenny and Matt. And I got this anagram that said Kink Reclaim Warren Pierre. So who's Pierre?
Who's Pierre? We don't know yet.
Kink is he reclaiming? We don't know. We're gonna
There's been a Frenchman on this
find out.
At some point.
We
There was
had
a
a
French-
female. We had a French person.
We had a French person.
We did. Warren Pierre. I'd like that to be the title of the Patreon episode. Okay, so that's how I spent my time. That took like an hour. So that's gonna be it for this episode. Zach, we're gonna quickly give out awards for this
Okay.
episode before we head out the door. So first, I want you to give me your Jenny, which is the worst mimed, and I think the only thing we really have to show is the music video. So I want you to give me your Tony for best and Jenny for worst.
We're not giving the Tiffany?
We are.
I want to give.
We are.
Okay.
That'd be after. Or yeah, do you just want to give one?
I want to give Sly the Tiffany, and I'm this is the only time he's going to probably get it.
What?
I know this is the only time he's going to get it, but he got a gig for them. They said,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to pull this off.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm covering that part too. And it
Yes.
was a little, it was sloppy. It was his first. He's new.
Yeah.
But
He's a new car buyer. For sure.
Credit where it's due. This is probably the first and only time he's going to get a Tiffany, which is the best, sweetest award.
Yeah, the best band member award. Yeah.
Best band member award.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tony, I'm going to give to Jenny because she sang the shit out of that song and she cried on camera.
Yeah,
So-
I gotta agree there. And
Yeah.
I want to
The
give
crying was definitely good, and she's always been a great singer.
Yeah.
look at that. It's high praise from George. He usually hates all these episodes and songs. I want to give the Jenny award out to Eric because he's an asshole. And
Nice.
but he I don't even know if he'd be that great of an actor. He probably thinks he's a great actor and probably isn't. Those people that take themselves super seriously as actors usually aren't self-aware enough to know that they need some work. So he's just gonna find somebody else in that cast to like creep on. So
I did find Michael Arone, and he is apparently a designer, and I guess he does graphic art and like mostly for product promotion, and he actually does really good work.
yo, get him to design
Nice.
a Surf Dudes with Attitude poster.
I don't think we can afford them.
Aaron is how you pronounce his name?
Honestly,
think so.
if we ask him to be on
Okay.
this podcast, he probably would do it. You know,
Someone might have emailed him already.
What? Oh.
there it is. George is the Sly of
Ball
Surf
in
Dudes
his
with
court
Attitude.
now.
Oh.
So if anybody
That
else
is the
wants to
casual stretch of a confident
email
man,
us
ladies and
back,
gentlemen.
surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com. You can also check out all of our other stuff at surfdudeswithattitude.com. Please stay tuned for the Patreon encore show, which we're going to talk a lot about band vans. George, what else are we talking about after this?
We're definitely going to be talking about this episode further, but mostly from a music and personal perspective.
All right, cool. Just want you to know, next week we are going to be releasing. I think I can say this. I'll cut it out if not. But we're going to be releasing next week. We're going to be doing a side project for a Who's the Boss episode. So stay tuned.
Before we go, we have not played the game.
Oh, what?
The title of the next episode is called "Where's Dennis?" Anyone want to take a guess?
Zach, do you want to take a crack at this?
I have a feeling they don't know where Dennis is. Which is what draws them to ask this question.
So we have talked earlier about how this is the last time Dennis is in the series.
So he's lost.
Do you presume they lose him permanently?
He gets milk cartoned, right?
They're like, where's Dennis? He's not actually on this episode. He's just like, Dad comes back down.
They never find him.
More milk, and he's just like, have you all seen Dennis? Pours the milk, and he's on the carton. See, that would be a gig. I'd love it.
Dennis is nothing but a Soul Asylum music video.
Oh wow, love that reference. Anyway,
when their parents go away for the weekend, Matt is left in charge of Jenny and Dennis. He is the older brother. When he breaks the rules and agrees to let Sly offer up the house for a party, Dennis feels left out and runs away. Meanwhile, Jenny gets fed up with her boyfriend's predictability. Jenny has a new boyfriend already.
Whoa.
What?
She's like Matt now.
This is going to be fun. So anyway, the next California Dreams episode is the season finale, which will be back in 2 weeks. Next week, we'll be doing a side project episode on Who's the Boss, so stay tuned for that. Check our socials to see which episode we're doing, so you can follow along. Any orders of business, gentlemen?
That's about it. Thank you very much for listening, and again to join us on the after show or get the video feed from YouTube. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/surfdudeswithattitude. From Hershey, Pennsylvania, I'm George Howell. Thank you very much.
I'm Pete from New York City. Thanks for tuning in. We're almost at the end of season 1. Thank you, everybody.
This is crazy. Y'all have been a good time. I'm Zach. I'm from Nashville, and this is real fun. I laughed too much.
You laughed. Jump on the bed, Zach.
All right, moving on. Have Jenny gets back together with Eric, but we mentioned in the show that Eric broke up with his girlfriend the day before. And I mean, Tony's already going out with her.
Yeah.
Have either of you ever dated someone on the rebound? Have you ever seen someone break up with someone and go, "This is my opportunity"? Or have you ever dated someone on the rebound?
Yeah,
definitely
both, but not necessarily not on purpose as like ooh yeah, rebound time, because typically rebounds don't work out.
Well, it depends on what they're for. If it's just, hey, we're both having a good time, it works out great.
Then it works out great. Everybody's it's mutual understanding. But yeah, it's been both. Actually, my partner of almost 7 years, we kind of were both each other's rebounds, you could technically say. But we also were friends for like 3 years before that. So we've known each other for a long time. But yeah, technically we both broke up with partners, and then it was like almost immediate.
Did you guys plan it together?
No, not exactly. Yeah, we planned the breakup. We're like, right. So on Tuesday, it's like, Tuesday's not really good for me. Can we do
We
Wednesday?
know what a Tuesday is now in California Dreams world, so
like, let's do tomorrow instead. We don't know what Thursday is yet. How about you, George?
I don't think I have. No, I mean, I've dated the same person a couple times, but I don't think I've ever.
She was on the rebound from you.
Probably, yeah. I don't think
you just turn your hat backwards and you're like, "Hey, you want to rebound with this bad boy?"
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been involved in the rebound.
Yeah.
Pete?
I mean, yeah, for sure.
You've dated
definitely,
you've dated all the rebounds.
I've definitely,
counts?
I definitely have gotten texts of somebody being like, "Hey, what's up?" And then I'm like, "Hey, good to hear from you." And then I'll like check, and I'll see like I remember this happened one time, and I was like, "Oh, it's a girl like I've always wanted to kind of like hook up with," and I was like, "But she was always with somebody." And then I check like her Facebook, and she's had a bunch of like those, those long sad posts of like, every day it's getting a little easier kind of thing. I'm like, "Oh, you're going through a breakup." Okay, like I see what this was. And they'll ask you small talk, like how you doing and stuff, and they're like, "Well, just kind of became single, so just trying to get back out there, but I feel really good." And it's just like, "Oh, okay."
Lucky for you, I'm that guy, the rock star.
But that's the thing, I'm a cursed sapiosexual. Like I need some kind of emotional connection to make things work. And like on paper that would work really well. Like, let's just be a rebound and it's casual and it's fun. But I'm like, no, now I want to cuddle since you said it's not in the question. Like if you tell me, you keep me at an arm's length, I'm gonna become an Eric basically. So that's not true. I'm not a psycho. Okay, just like,
Yeah.
Have either of you ever had an ex really try to get back together with you?
Yeah.
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 I think we said last episode that it was like it's just not a good idea. You guys broke up for a reason.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
It doesn't, but they try. It's nice to feel wanted,
Sometimes.
I had broken up with my girlfriend of I think 3 years, but we had just moved to New York, and we were together for like another year after that. But I was a jobless musician, and she was literally a pathobiologist curing cancer. This was never going to work out.
Wow.
And then we broke up. And then for like the next 2 or 3 weeks, she was like, "I made a mistake. I want to get back together." She's like, "Things will be better." And she was just so like into it. And I was like loving the affection. Like, oh, finally, like maybe things will get better. And then like a light switch. She's just like, "Nope. It was the right decision." Like she just took like a cold, hard, scientific look at it. And I was like, "No, I'm not ready now." Like but it was the best thing to do for both of us. But that's what sucks when you break up. Nobody was at fault. Nobody cheated. Nobody died. It was just, "Hey, you want kids? I don't want kids. This isn't going to work. We just have to be adults and end it." So that's like some of the hardest breakups where a lot of things work, but 10 years down the line, this isn't going to work. And we only have so many precious rotations around the sun,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done the whole get back together, break up, get back together thing. But one thing that I have not experienced, have either of you ever dated someone that your parents didn't like?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I think only one time. Actually, most of the time, my parents have. Well, one time that, yeah, like date. Yeah, I think my parents have not met everyone that I've dated, but they've met everybody that I had like a relationship with. Which is, I think, what you mean. Probably is a relationship. Yeah. One of them, they like really tried. They really tried, and they wanted to, and I wanted them to so bad, and it was just like they weren't dicks about it. They really did try. But yeah, it was rough, and it was they did not get along.
Yeah, my parents were always like, if anyone can stand this asshole, thank God.
Jeez.
I mean, you dated some like awful girls though. Like you're telling me they liked all of them.
They didn't. I mean, like, at least for the beginning of the relationship, they didn't have anything against them.
I guess a lot of parents they might not say something because they're like, well, we're just gonna let this run its course before we actually have to step in. But I remember my first girlfriend.
Go ahead.
No, I just remember my first girlfriend. I was 15. She was 18. She was a Satanist.
Whoa.
Like, my dad was a pastor. Like, again, not going to work out. Well, my parents definitely did not like her.
They hated her. That was obvious.
And, they were just like, this isn't going to work. She's not she's just not in your realm, and they were trying to be really nice about it and stuff. And, looking back, they didn't want to.
She's really cool, Pete.
Yeah, that's what they should have said, reverse psychology.
Just like, I think she might be too cool for you right now. Like, maybe.
Well, they also know.
That's a big age gap, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, let's not get the ramifications of that. But if your parents said, don't do this, it's going to make the young, rebellious me be like, well, I'm definitely doing it, and we're going to get married. It's true love. This is going to last forever.
Yeah.
That was our thing that we said to each other. We said, I love you. And she would say,
this was
always.
Probably like
and I'd say, and forever.
Pre-satanic temple too, so this is like LaVeyan Satanism.
It was,
she gave me
LaVey,
she gave me the Satanic Bible to read from Anton LaVey, and I was like, she's like, this will help you understand me, and I'm like, okay,
this is the worst book ever written.
It's so poorly written.
Have either of you ever sat in your room hugging a pillow like Jenny?
That's how we write music, George. We already said that.
That's basically how it goes. Yeah, we close our eyes real tight and we just imagine a full song with the band playing in the warehouse
every night.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, haven't you cried holding a pillow?
Really? No.
What?
I'm cold and emotionless.
George is dead
inside.
It's
You're right. We're artists.
Yeah, you guys feel things.
Sure, a tear has hit a pillow in my life.
Sure, it's happened.
As musicians, what is your experience with old vans?
This needs its own podcast.
Yeah, you have so much more. I've only
really. I mean, I remember booking a show with you, and like your entire van chassis just fell off, and we were playing a show. Not just that, but
was a show together.
You were already an hour late because you didn't remember the time difference because we were playing in Indiana together, and
That's
you were already
about punctuality. Not
you were already
an
hour late, and you're like, okay, by the way. Got that whole time zone thing fixed, but now the van, like it basically prolapsed.
Yeah, we had a tire prolapse.
That was I told this story to other people, but that was Zach was always ethereal and like perfect in my mind, and he's still a perfect, beautiful human being. But he's like always nailed it on stage. He kills it. He's so good with the crowd. I've always looked up to him for it. But this day he was frazzled. And we were playing at this place, and it was pretty packed and stuff. And like he had this silly, goofy cowboy hat on, I want to say. And you were playing.
It's just like
and he
wasn't a cowboy hat, but it was brimmed hat.
It was a 10-gallon shit kicker hat. Okay, he took off his top hat and cane, and he threw it to somebody in the audience, and this person had just went to drink their drink, and the hat hit their drink and splashed all over their face.
Oh.
And Zach is just like, okay, it's not going to be it's not going to be a red letter day for me. It's he just was like, and I was like, you're fallible. You've done it. You could blow it on stage too. So it was a pivotal moment in our relationship.
Gods can bleed.
That's very sweet of you, Pete. You just hadn't seen me play that much.
I think so. And every show I've seen you just, and since you fucking killed it. And even in that scenario, you were able to still get the crowd back. But
I
remember that was your van problem.
The whole show started late because we were late.
Yes.
And it was like, and then, we're like trying to get the crowd that's just been waiting. And
fuck you, crowd.
Fuck you. Splash beer in your face.
Pete, the last time I saw you, I changed both the headlights on your van for you.
That's true, George. With the help of George and a YouTube channel, we changed out our own light bulbs. This piece of shit van that we just got that we're still sinking money into. It's just been such a pit. We got one recently. We bought our first van after so many years of renting. And that's the thing, like that show we played together in Indiana, like we had rented a fucking van. Like, we're fucking fine. Like, it was somebody else's problem. If it ever broke down, they would send another one within a day for free. So we never had to worry. We were putting a lot of money into it, but we knew that it was going to be a solid fucking van. It was going to make the tour. Now we have our own. It's in our title. It's the band has bought it, and literally ever since we got it was like 4 flats. Needed a new. The engine was fine, but literally everything else needed fixing. New chassis, new shocks, new. I don't even know there's different ones. There's like struts and then there's shocks. Don't know that. I had to learn all about fucking cars because of this stupid van. Everything else is wrong. There's some kind of steering mechanism that's wrong. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, the rims are fucked. And I'm like, we literally had 4 tires changed because we blew a tire at 80 miles an hour on the last tour. Scary as hell. Almost didn't make the gig. Didn't throw beer in anybody's face. So, but other than that, great
that
gig.
You know of.
But it's
do
just
want to point out this is especially funny because you didn't have a driver's license for like 2 decades.
Well, I mean, the first 2 decades of my life, you're right, I didn't, but I let my license expire, and then yes, I wasn't driving for 6 years or something because I live in New York, you know.
Yeah, you don't need a car.
But now with Tor, I got my license after driving without one for 4 months or something, like a baddie. And
whoa!
It just sucks. Like the van stuff, it's so rough, and I see so many bands kind of go through it. There should be some kind of share program that's like a little more widely accessible, but so many this isn't going to be a nonstop issue. And if you really want to tour more than the weekender shows when you could probably borrow equipment, like you're doing long tours, you're doing 2 to like 6 week tours, you need your own shit, you know, but you're responsible for it when it fucks up, not if.
Yeah.
So you've been working on a van all week. Do you take it for a 2-hour drive to a gig once you get it running just in time?
You know what? You probably would, because that's how bands operate. You just have to. And like we bought our van literally, like we got everything done at the mechanic 12 hours before we went on a 3-week tour.
Wow.
So, but that's not smart, but it was the only option we had, and we just had to do it. And that van made it back, but now we're like fixing it up and all that, and it's still kind of sitting there for the winter. So I don't know, Zach, you had a car for a while. Like you had a van. Like, is that thing dead?
Yeah, it's basically it's been sitting there for a long time, but I had, when it was just like a 2-piece, we were just like in a hatchback Subaru. That was awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
You can go anywhere. And
that's a game changer when it's just 2 or 3 people and you don't have drums.
I mean, that's incredible. You can.
This would be a
we had like half a drum set, but it was pretty. It packed in well, so we could like lay our seats down and like stop at a rest stop and sleep. That was awesome. And then when the band grew, I got an Astra van. We did that for a little while, and then it broke down and had to rent a van for a couple of tours that were already set up. And then I got a big passenger van, like an old church van, that now has over 500,000 miles on it, and it's ridiculous. It putters, but it's not tour safe right now. Like it'll drive, but it's I would not put.
It'll go to church. That's all it's supposed to do.
Yeah, because at the time, I mean, I had that like 6 years. I was with somebody, and then I moved out, and I was like, well, I can either get a place or like spend the money I have on a van, and we already had tours set up, and so like I decided to do that, and I was like living on couches for a couple of months, and like my brother's shop, and in this van just to like have it. It was like. So I love that van. I love that van, but I don't know if it was a great
residence.
decision.
It's not a van anymore, dude.
Exactly. It had everything I needed in there.
You're squatting, man.
Yeah.
So with Jenny, the warning signs were there once she started skipping band practice to help Eric go over lines, and she pretty much ditched the band after that. As band leaders, how long do you let that go on for before you start to think about replacing her or have a talk or whatever? Because Matt's way too cool about this.
Well, it's his sister. You know, like it's, and they presumably, like Zach and his sister, like they might have started this band together. So it doesn't seem like Jenny is a part of the songwriting process so much, but it does seem like she was at least there at the origin. So as far as when you talk to somebody about it, like I let shit go on way too long. You know, I've had people just be fucking internal band terrorists, and I just like kept my mouth shut because I was just like, we got a tour, we got a big show, we like, I don't want to rock the boat, like, but you need to be better at just voicing concern, even if they say it's not an issue. You need at least to be out there. You know, you need to plant the seed that this is not cool. You know, like ditching a show, that's other level. Unless there's an emergency and you're ditching a show because your boyfriend asked you to like come to a party, like that's kind of inexcusable. I don't think I'd be in a band with somebody that would pull that shit, or they at least would have the wherewithal to lie their ass off, you know, or justify it that it's not a good show to take in the first something. But it just to straight up be like, I'm going to this party instead of this fucking show, and it's a big show for the Dreams. The fact that she would bail on it is incomprehensible.
Yeah, same. Yeah, if it, like family emergencies, obviously, you know, can take precedence over shows in Santa Barbara specifically. But otherwise,
the big family emergency capital.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's tricky though, because you got like, so if you're, I don't know, it's probably the equation is different for every band and every arrangement, but like if you are a full rock band or pop band with full instrumentation, you can get away with 3. And so if you have more than that, typically, like you can still take a show. Like we have stripped down to 3. We are sometimes a 6-piece, but like we can get away with like 3 of us doing it, depending on the arrangement. Mm-hmm. But like if it's any less than that, then it's like, okay, this might as well be a solo show. Like,
so that was going to be my next question: is do you ever go on without a member for a show?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
We had to do. My band, our drummer bailed out. We had like it was like a 9-week residency. Like a 9-show residency with the Edgar Allan Poe Society from Baltimore. And the last weekend, he was just like, I got a gig. You know, it was like a construction gig that he would make a lot of money. And he was just like, I'm going to take it. It pays more. And I was like pissed. And then we had but the show by that point, we had just gone through weekends and weekends of like bullshit with these people. And there wasn't a lot of people. The shit we were promised wasn't good. But at that point, it's like, but you can't bail. Like their entire show is built around us as a band being live music recorded. And it was like an immersive show. So like we were a part of the show and people could interact with us. But that last weekend, we just did it with without a drummer. And, you know, the cast was aware of the change, but the people that saw us, they didn't know the difference that a drummer wasn't there. So no, I don't know, it's just you make do. I don't think we could do a show without our cellist, so that I'd probably have to bow out of the show, unfortunately.
I think your instrumentation, the type of band you are, is huge in like what you can get away with and how much you can sacrifice for certain shows.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like like an artistic show, background music, like I'd play it solo. I've had to do that. I played in the subway a couple times because my cellist would kind of bail last minute. And I was just like, well, I'm already like on my way. I might as well try to busk alone, make some money, get the band name out if we had a show coming up.
Yeah.
Now we do what we got to do.
Last question, and this one is for all the points.
Okay. I'm so ready.
Do you ever fight on who gets to drive?
Never. I don't know about you, Zach. Yeah. We take turns, and but sometimes it makes sense. Like Tara, our cellist, she's more awake in the morning, so she's like, I'll take first drive, and then I don't drink, so they're like, Pete, drive at night. If we don't do overnight drives, but we've had to do them a couple times. Like they're like, we want to get drunk. So you drive, Dad. So But the long stretches we always kind of split up. But there's, like George said, many years that I didn't have a license that other people. Well, we hired a driver for a lot of those.
Yeah. Wow. Fancy. I bet that's nice.
This is the best.
Yeah. Yeah, we've it's basically just been me and Loren, our bass player, who does the driving, and usually I drive there and then they'll drive back. Is typically how we do it. Yeah, and it used to be for similar reasons of like because they don't drink and I used to, I don't anymore, but back when I did, it was great to not have to drive back. And they're like, "Go ahead, have
That's
a
how
good
you
time,
would sound
you
after
kids."
too.
Exactly.
I can't wait to hang out with both of you guys. DD's all around.
Yo, my entire life I've been a DD. I have no problem with it. I always loved making sure everyone got home safe. So when people
It gets
expected
exhausting
that I
after
didn't
a
like
while,
it, yeah.
though. Yeah.
All right, good deal. Well, thank you, gentlemen, and thank you to our patrons. You totally make this show possible. Thank you so much for your support, and we will see you next week for Who's the Boss?
Okay. Path to taken or path not taken. Choice is up to you, my patrons.
Thanks, everybody. You're really sweet and attractive.
This has been a Winning Moon production.